Hey gang, what's going on, everybody? Jack, what is good, my man? So, does Jazz Chisholm make sense for the Yankees? We'll get into it. Wait a few minutes for a couple more folks to get on, but I hope you're all doing well. And look, they've got the Tampa Bay Rays the next 3 days, and then they've got the Orioles after that for 3 games before the All Star break. So it's not going to be easy, right? But they played 350 today. And with that said, you know, I want to spend some time focusing on how can we bring in pieces that might help the Yankees. And Jazz Chisholm represents to me a refreshing piece because he's got a good combination of power and speed, right? He's also younger than Gleyber Torres. He plays second base and the outfield, so he could help in the outfield, but he would be a left-handed hitting dynamic replacement potentially for Gleyber Torres at second base. That he would bring some personality and some flair here to a normally buttoned up Yankees team that has been open to letting guys like Alex Verdugo and Marcus Stroman, display their outgoing and flamboyant personalities. It's a breath of fresh air, and Jazz Chisholm would add to that, right? And I think he would, give an injection of energy to a team that looks like they could use it, right? So, but let me know what your thoughts are, gang. Let me know. Say what's up and hit the like buttons as well. Let's get the likes up, and I hope you're all doing well. So, again, I understand we're all frustrated as fans. We're always frustrated when the Yankees don't play well, right? We're happy when they win. We're happy when they don't play well, right? So, I totally get it. Bryce, what's happening? Exactly, he could be our leadoff hitter, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, where are we missing pieces, right? Leadoff hitter, and I know Luis Arias is not available. He would have been nice, but he's in the past now. He's on Padres, so but he could represent the leadoff hitter, somebody who could set the table at the top, right? And just for perspective here, he's had in his last home runs, last 4 years, 18, 14, 19. He's got 10 this year. Doubles, 20, 10, 12, and he's got 12 this year. Stolen bases, 23, 12, 22, and he already has 17 this year. So he's on pace to exceed his career high in stolen bases as well. What's up, Ben? What's up, Doc? He's not a shortstop, Doc. He's a second baseman. Jazz Chisholm plays second in the outfield. We definitely don't need another shortstop. So, but I think Jazz Chisholm, and again, will give another dynamic to this team. And again, keep in mind too, we're already inquiring about one of the Marlins relievers, right? So, is it possible, Army Chow what's happening? Is it possible to get a Chisholm and a Tanner Scott and a Andrew Nardi? I had a live panel the other day. I don't know if you saw, but I had Hector from Morning Brew Sports, I had Enfield from the Strike Zone, I had Ryan from Fireside Yankees on, and Ryan proposed Tanner Scott and Andrew Nardi, right, as two lefty relievers who could be great fits and address serious needs here with the Yankees. Hector added Jazz Chisholm to that. Okay, a bat and two arms. Now, the Yankees made a trade like that several years ago with the White Sox when they got Todd Frazier, Tommy Kahnle, and David Robertson. So this type of trade has happened before. Happy Tuesday, Mark. What is good? Aiden, what's happening, my friend? What is good? So, Orlando? What do you mean, Doc? Who's Orlando? Sportsman Z, what's happening, my friend? What's good? Jack, what's good, man? I did. No, I said right at the beginning, Jack. My apologies. Much love to all these, and especially Jack, because Jack was the first one on here, bro. So this is the question too. Jack, we got love for you always, man. Always, brother. Who would the Marlins get? That's a good question. So, I've seen some trade proposals where Jazz Chisholm alone would probably require Will Warren, Everson Pereira, and another prospect or something like that, right? If you add Jazz Chisholm to that, to a Tanner Scott or to an Andrew Nardi, now you're, adding to the prospect package. Go Eagles and Warriors. What's happening, guy? Lasagna. No, La Sorsa. I'm happy to have you here too, the guy. Oswaldo Cabrera. He plays multiple positions, so he could play third, Doc. So we need a third baseman too, right? And again, this is adding a dynamic that we don't have right now. We know obvious needs, in my opinion, are second base and third base. I mean, they would be playing Oswaldo Cabrera every day, I think, if they thought he was the solution. But he's not. He's not. To them, it looks like. Joey Jad, it's going to cost more than Gleyber. And my problem with Gleyber too, Joey, Ken, what do you know, my friend? Aaron Cornwell, what's happening now? This is the question. Like, what would we give up, right? And you know, yeah, how is he overrated? All things as it pertains to what he would bring the Yankees. This is the thing too. Of what needs would he address with the Yankees, and he would bring a dynamic that they don't have. So he does move the order down if you put him at the top, and you could essentially switch him and Volpe at the leadoff spot, and you could bat Volpe like I don't know 5 or 6 something like that. That's a more natural position for him right now. Ken, always love having you part of the family, my friend. You know that. So Jake Boss. So this is the question: like, what would be the package? Like, I'm seeing Will Warren, Everson Pereira, and maybe another prospect for Jazz Chisholm alone. But when you add a reliever to it, it's probably going to cost. You're probably going to have to add another good prospect. To the Marlins. And again, I wouldn't be opposed to that. So, and Nardi, well, yeah, I mean, he's got Alfredo, and this is another, like him and Tanner Scott would be good, like, because Tanner Scott would represent the immediate impact reliever. Nardi, he's got 3 years of control left and gives Matt Blake an opportunity to work with him to improve him. So, but you're right, he hasn't been. It was not as great as Tanner Scott, but I would like to have both of them if possible. So, and Army Chow, yeah, he also mentioned Nathan Eovaldi, which is another good option. Nathan Eovaldi and Tarek Scoop from the Tigers. And we've talked about Scoop before, but the Eovaldi idea is intriguing. And the Rangers could sell. We don't know yet. We really don't know yet. So, and this, and again, guy, to your point too, this is a good point. Scott will have a lot of competition. I think honestly, it's going to be between Scott and Garrett Crochet. And let's just say if it's the Yankees and Orioles, and the Orioles overpay for Crochet, the Yankees are likely going to get Scott. It's still going to cost a lot no matter what. But I think, one team is going to overpay for Crochet, the other team is going to pay a good amount for Scott. Scott's not going to cost as much as Crochet, but he'll definitely cost more than Nardi would. And again, you can bring in Nardi and still get another reliever, or call up a guy like Jack Neely, so they can, Nardi and Neely, right? So you could do some things here. So, and again, Luis Rengifo, another one, he is better than Cabrera, and that's the thing. I'm wondering, Jay Board, I'm wondering if Rengifo's injury has changed the Yankees' calculus, right? Has them worried. I don't know, right? So I don't think anybody does. But, what if they brought in Chisholm for second and Rengifo for third? That's a whole different look to the infield and the lineup. Whole different look. So, I would be all right with that. Why does Chisholm not make sense, Jonathan? Warren, Cerna, Messenger, and it might cost that much. You might be right. The Nats, we don't know yet. We're not sure if the Nats are sellers yet. I mean, they have a Ryan Finnegan. They're one of their closers. He'd be a guy. A guy to look into. No. I don't think it would cost Rice because they have. I'm not sure if it would cost Rice and Neely. I mean, not those four. They're not going. The Yankees are definitely not going to give up 4 guys for Chisholm alone. But Pereira and Peraza, I have no issue. I would even give them a Brock Selvage or something like that. I would try my best to keep Neely. And Rice, I mean, I would not do the trade if that's the case. I would just try to trade for Rengifo instead. So, but this is, I mean, Rengifo's had some wrist inflammation a couple times. So this is, I think, one reason why no teams are jumping on him right now in this trade market. So as a Marlins fan, you need a shortstop, but we have a boatload of shortstop prospects. So, we have guys that we could give up Alfredo for a Jazz Chisolm. So he does have 17 stolen bases. The most, he's on track to surpass his career high. And Chisolm would bring a different dynamic. He's got that energy, that flair, right? And he would be surrounded by a much better lineup. He would get protection. And at the end of the day, this, like I said in the first few minutes, this is a normally very buttoned-up Yankee team. right? Chisholm would bring that flair to complement Marcus Stroman, to complement Alex Verdugo and some of these other guys. And I was already surprised, but as a pleasant surprise that the Yankees brought in guys like that and let them to kind of be themselves, which is fantastic. So, he would bring swag. I mean, he's had a couple of injuries issues, Bryce, but he had a back issue last year. But I think he would bring a different dynamic to this lineup, which I think they could use. No, we're definitely not replacing Volpe, guy. No way. I mean, we have plenty of shortstop prospects as well. Peraza, you got Roderick Harris, you got tons of other shortstop prospects. No. Well, this is Jay Barton. Like I said, this is not a one player fix. The Yankees need to address multiple holes, right? And Jazz wouldn't upgrade second base. So, but there is no um, one player solution to all the Yankees' problems because they need to add a couple of relievers. They need to boost the infield a couple spots positions. So this is a multiple trade scenario or a trade and call up scenario on both sides. So I think it's going to take a little time. So yeah, Crochet has 2 more years beyond this year, sportsman. But I think the reason why the White Sox are considering doing it, and they're looking at Luis Robert too, is they know they're not going to contend in the next 2 years. They want to try to get as many pieces as possible to accelerate any particular any rebuild that they're going to undergo. So, Jared Schuster, former first-round pick of Atlanta, is having a decent season with the crappy White Sox. Left-handed, left with nasty stuff. Lives around 90 to 85% down here. Jared Schuster. How many years of control does he have, Army Chow Mein? I think that the Yankees are definitely going to look into bringing guys with years of control. Like Tanner Scott does not bring that, but Andrew Nardi does. Garrett Crochet does, right? So, and at the end of the day, they're probably going to lose 3 or 4 relievers, and they're going to want guys with control of the years, which is also going to make it easier for them to re-sign Juan Soto. I think that all that stuff is going to be factored in here. So they need to. I mean, I think a strikeout righty, and they have that with Jack Neely here for them. They have it with Clayton Beater too. I think a good lefty would be a good idea. So, and the good thing is, Ken, we don't need him. He's better than Gleyber Torres defensively at second base. So that's all we need. And he's not known for having lazy spells. So, and he's known for his energy and flair. So I'll take Jazz Chisolm at this point at second base if we had an option to do it. He would also add a lot to the offensive front, and we're struggling offensively right now. So I would take him if we had a chance to get him. So, well, moving on with Gleyber, Gerard. To your point too, Gleyber's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. DJ has 2 more years after this year, at $15 million per. So it's easier to move on. Rizzo will be a free agent at the end of the year. Grisham's got 1 more year. Trevino's got 1 more year. My guess is they're going to quietly look for trade partners for Grisham and Trevino. But we'll see what happens there. The other guys, I don't know. I mean, Rizzo, I think they're going to keep Rizzo throughout this year and then just let not exercise his team option for next year. I think he'll be a good mentor to Ben Rice. So, and he's a very, very, very good teammate and a great leader. So those intangibles are really hard to replace. 2 infielders and 2. Yeah, we do, Tyler. Yes, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, as far as relievers go, I would like 2 lefties, but I'll take 1 at least. 1 righty, 1 lefty. I'm cool with that. If you get a good lefty in Jack Neely, I'm okay with that. Urseg, I heard too. Yep. I did hear that. The Mason Miller thing, I don't think is going to happen. I think he's going to wind up staying in Oakland. The cost is going to be way too high. So we have an stolen base, yeah, but that's a talking point as well, Tyler. We know that as well. But again, like Anthony Volpe's got to get on base, right, to be the base stealer. John Birdie's hurt. He's the other base stealing threat, which is why a guy like Jazz Chisolm will bring a base stealing threat here. Another base stealing threat, which I think is good. So that's why and that's a dynamic that we need. Like we're getting our asses handed to us by the Red Sox with stolen bases, so we need to bring that dynamic back to this lineup. And we need to put the guys in, put the ball in play when guys are stealing bases too. That way, if somebody's on first, a single to get them to third on a regular basis. If they're in second, a single will get them home. If they're at first, a double will get them home, and so on. So having some better base runners would be great. And Jazz would represent the base stealer, Tyler. Yes, he would. And I agree too. I think Mason Mills is a Tommy John candidate waiting to happen. He missed almost 4 months last year with a UCL problem. So, um, and Brandon Donovan, I talked about this offseason too, brought him for third base. I don't know if he's available. I mean, the Cardinals are putting themselves in a position to compete now. So I don't know if they're going to sell him. This is the problem too right now, right? A lot of teams that we thought were going to be sellers look like they're going to be buyers now. So there's going to be less players available for teams, meaning, there's going to be even a more intense bidding war for certain players, which is crazy. But that's the thing too. Yeah, exactly, Ty. I don't know. Speed, yeah, we also have speed with other guys too. But Dominguez, he's blocked at the major league level this year. He'll bring it to us next year. But they're not going to sit Verdugo for him. They're not going to sit Soto or Judge for him either. I think it's important to folks remember that. He's exciting, but we got to keep him healthy. The Rangers could be sellers, and if so, Nathan Eovaldi represents a fit. I mean, they even optioned out Ezekiel Duran. So, he's a former Yankee, the guy they traded to the Rangers for freaking Joey Gallo. So, Joseph, we don't know yet. I mean, we don't even know if Brendan Dunham is available. I'm not sure if Spencer Jones is ready yet, Andrew. I would move him to AAA first to give him a little bit of time there just to see. If we see Dominguez this year, it's going to probably be a September call-up. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you come up here if he's not going to play every day? That's the problem. Well, exactly, Jay. Yeah, having too many teams in the race. It's going to make the deadline harder. That's for sure. So, the M Shop, Trent Thornton, Gabe, and Taylor, maybe even Andrew Bonatessa. I'm curious to see what they're going to shop, Army. I'm really curious. How about Wells? Ooh, Wells is a tough one. I would rather give them Trevino, but they might ask for Wells. Pereira, Peraza, Warren. Oh. I would offer Trevino over Wells, but you might be right that Wells might be the guy that they want if they want a catcher. Yeah. Yeah. Third base too. Yeah. Yeah. McMahon would be fantastic. I mentioned him a couple times. We just don't know if he's available yet. And if he is, that will cost Dominguez. I don't see a scenario where they can get him without giving up somebody like Dominguez. No. Yeah, I worry about the same thing, Tim. Big talent, but just injuries, unfortunately. So, yeah, no doubt, man. I think moving off from Gleyber Torres, even if you trade him for international money, is a good idea. I think he's got to get his head right. So a change of scenery would be good, and the Yankees got to get their kind of mojo back, and moving him would be a good idea. So, doesn't have to be a 40 home run guy. Like a Jazz Chisolm would be a good fit here, I think. Bring his flair would fit nicely in New York. I do. So, I think the Mariners are definitely going to be buyers. I would watch out for them for like Pete Alonso or Luis Robert. Oh, Patrick, I think that goes without saying. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense if Gleyber's out of here. I think that they'll move Gleyber for something if they can move him, even if it's international money or a prospect or at this point, you're not going to get a lot anyway, and they know this, so it doesn't make sense to keep him throwing him out there. We need to shake things up at a couple of positions. So I can't see the Yankees trading Verdugo. Why would they? He's an elite defender in the outfield, and he's bats coming around again. Why would they do that? Yeah. The problem with Boredom is Caleb Durbin's hurt now, which is it stinks. But he's another stolen base threat too. I mean, if he could play third base, or third base while Chisholm plays second, or play second base while Rengifo plays third, that might be worth entertaining. Yeah. If we can, I mean, honestly, if I was gonna give a lot for one infield player, it'd be Ryan McMahon. If we can get him, I just don't know if he's gonna be available. So for Dominguez, if you want Ryan McMahon from the Rockies, it's likely gonna cost Jason Dominguez. That's just the reality of it. His contract and his value. That's unfortunately what's probably gonna cost. So yeah. Yes, he does. Incremental moves at the All-Star break. Yes, he does. And Miami seems to be a good fit as well, Joseph. I agree for a trade partner. Yep. Yeah. Elias Diaz from the Rockies. Yep. Yep. Seattle wants a first baseman. They've been looking at Bellinger and Alonso. I'm not surprised. No surprise. No surprise at all. Traded players good chemistry with the team. Who are you referring to, guy? Yeah, I mean they also have Augustin Ramirez here too. We have a catcher in house who could probably help keep Rice at first base too. So, which is why I would try to trade Jose Trevino and bring Augustin Ramirez up to platoon with Wells if I could. If I could, but Ken's right. I think they might ask for Wells. They might. Yeah, we do have quite a few guys coming back. We've got like 7 or 8 guys on the IL. You add that with whatever they do with the deadline. I mean, the Yankees will get a definitely shot in the arm. What type of shot in the arm? I don't know. We'll see. Right. So I would agree with both of them. I think Boston could be quietly buyers too because they want to add to what they're doing over there. So yeah. Well, it fix a problem, AC. It wouldn't fix the bullpen problem, but yeah, I mean, I would like Ryan McMahon for third base if they can get him. And the Yankees are very interested in Ryan McMahon. So, yeah, Volpe has some adjustments he needs to make too. hmm Chisholm and Nardi, I mean, would cost less than Chisholm and Scott. You know, I agree, Feppel. I think the Dodgers and the Orioles are probably going to try to you know throw chaos at the deadline. I agree. Yeah, Trevor Bauer is not going to happen, unfortunately. Jason Hickman. There's no team going after Trevor Bauer right now because of the baggage he brings, and he's got 2 more accusers now. So I don't know. I would not give up Spencer Jones before Dominguez, Marshall. That's just me now. Jones is rated higher than Dominguez. Oh, yeah. Augustin Ramirez would be a good. If you can move Trevino, he'd be a good guy to call up. Nathan Lowe is that Texas, right? Another guy I talked about a year or 2 ago too. Nathaniel Lowe as a first baseman for Texas before the Yankees re-signed Rizzo. Oh. Giancarlo Stanton will be back soon too. Yep. But I don't expect him to come right back in the offense and just take off again. It's going to take him a little bit, maybe a couple weeks. I don't think we can get McMahon without Dominguez, Kevin. I mean, bringing back Gio would be okay, but I don't think he's gonna. Is he that much of an upgrade right now over Oswaldo Cabrera? I don't know. I think any move at this point for third base has to be a clear upgrade. You know, like McMahon will be a definite upgrade at first base. There's no doubt. Estevez, yeah, Carlos Estevez from the bullpen. Yeah, he's another guy I think that they could. Even Tyler Anderson, who's pitching pretty well from the starting rotation from the Angels, he's another guy I would quietly get, be looking into as well. He has a pretty big contract, Jason, for the next 3 years after this year. The Marlins are picking up money from it, but it's still like almost $30 million a year. So he's still going to get paid, Giancarlo Stanton. The problem in I mean, this is the problem, guy. Like in our problem, our system, our farm is light on corner infielders. They're heavy on middle infielders, but light on the corner. So next week is the draft, and I hope that they draft some corner infielders at the college level, so that guys aren't that far away from being moving up the system. Let me see what MLB draft dates. Yeah, July 11th to July 13th. That's next week. No. It depends, Ryan. Depends on what they get in return. Yeah. Yeah, and this is an important point too, right? Yeah, exactly, Brandon Moore. But this is an important important point that Ken makes. Fans, for us to see both of them, the Yankees would likely need to walk away from Soto. Yeah. And I would have liked to have seen Spencer Jones at first base, but it looks like we may have an option here, Ben Rice. So there we go with that. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's true. I'm open to Nathan Eovaldi. I think it's I think it's unfinished business. I think bringing him back here, maybe he'll have a different approach and hopefully stay healthy and you know. But he's not my first pick. I would take Tarek Skubal before him. I would take a couple other guys before him, but he still has a big arm. Nathan Eovaldi. He still has a very big arm. Tim King of Jones, what's up, baby? Yeah. Abe Toro. Package him with Ursag and exile for me. Brew Baker Messiah. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see. Abe Toro. Let's see here. Third baseman with the A's, yeah. Okay. Ursag. Here we go. Ursag. Yeah, I mean, I worry about trading with the A's. I do, but you never know. When Dominguez comes back, he doesn't have a position to play, Jimmy. Yeah, at the major league level, he doesn't have a position to play. Where's he going to play, Jimmy? That's the question. Drury, Anthony Rendon, Matt Moore, Hunter Strickland, that's the best. I mean, I hear that. Yeah, I'm passing on Max Scherzer too, Brandon. Me too. Yeah, I'll pass on him as well. I don't know. We needed him, when Stanton went down and he went, and he's hurt for 8 weeks. So that's my fear, right? Like, that's my fear. You would replace Verdugo. I wouldn't, not this year. Next year, yes, but not this year. Yep. And I would agree, yeah, for Rendon, Angels would have to give up top prospects to get another team to take Rendon's money. His money is just onerous, absolutely hideous in his contract. Terrible. You know. And I would agree, yeah, DJ needs to be true utility. Yes, he does. He's no longer like an everyday true everyday guy. Brandon, I don't know. I have a feeling that Ben Rice may have taken Cody Bellinger out of the conversation now. That's what I'm thinking now, Brandon. But you never know. You never know. And Brian Cashman never leaks anything. As sometimes we wish you would let us know what's going on, but in terms of trade stuff, they're never gonna leak. They lose leverage if they leak. So, um, yeah, yeah, 100%, guy. Their head second guessing. For players in their head second guessing their decision, how they doing either as a hitter or pitcher. How the adjustments make a difference from hitting it. It depends on what type of adjustments you need to make, Anthony. It really depends if you're in your head and, sometimes you need somebody around that's going to help you refocus, right? Or focus on less things. So it really depends what's going on, in all honesty, Anthony. Dodgers, take DJ for third. That'd be interesting. Spencer Jones is not ready for the majors just yet, Steve. He's ready to move up to AAA, but not majors yet. Mm-hmm. I think they're quietly looking at starting pitching too. Yep, I think they're quietly looking. So, mhm. Yes, they have. They've been scouting Bellinger very, very hard right now. Yes, they have. Kevin Pillar. Interesting. He's picked it up quite a bit, Tyler. Spencer Jones. No way. Hill needs to. I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees moved Hill to the bullpen just to kind of protect him for the rest of the season and gradually let him, get his innings back up. DJ for Kiki, interesting. Maybe. You say when you're wrong, you don't have to apologize to nobody, right? Not necessarily. I don't say that. If you're wrong, you're wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong. You but some people in some situations you apologize. Some situations you don't. But I agree with you. I think we need to move towards off second base. I agree. Josh Bell first base. I'm not sure. The deadline, yes, it's on. I think it's on the 30th of July. No. Mm-hmm. Proposed trade between the O's and the Astros. Tucker for I did see that. Tucker for Holiday. That's a crazy one. I can't see it happening, but that's a crazy one. Player moves a player to the board to protect their innings limit. How does that even work? Because you're still giving him innings even though he's not. Well, you're limiting the amount of innings. Or you're limiting the wear and tear in between starts essentially. So it's almost like peaking for runners. At the end you're lowering the volume while maintaining the intensity. So it's a way of protecting the wear and tear of his arm, shoulder, elbow, whatever. And he's got a big arm. He had a great, start the other day. So but I would still want to protect him because he is off of Tommy John. So yeah, can be any pitch, but well, I don't know if you could trade into that. Well, I don't think you can trade international money for. Well, that's a good question. Actually, I need to look at that one because you could trade Gleyber Torres for international money, but I guess you can trade for international money, but it doesn't mean you can't trade away international money. So you probably can. You probably can, Anthony. Yeah, you know what I mean, Jason? Well, the international signing period itself, that's like at the end of the year. So that's when you can use the international money to sign the round, the next batch of international players that become available. So I would pass on Altuve, Jim Gordon. I personally, I would pass on Altuve. So Flaherty's a possibility. I would look at Scooble, Tyler Scooble from Tigers as well. Yeah. Uh, Maybe get Tanner Scott from Miami. Would you long relief? Would you move to? I mean, I would probably set up and be a co-closer. Uh, I would say co-close. I mean, he'll come in and push Holmes at the closer spot. Luis Rengifo and Carlos Narvaez trade. Carlos Estevez. I mean, that's a possibility too. Or Luis Rengifo and Tyler Anderson. So either one would be okay. And Scuba, I don't know if Scuba's going to be available. Right, I just don't know. But he would be definitely worth, a package. That's for sure. Yeah. But I just wanted to get on quickly and talk about this. I want to get your feedback on Jazz Chisolm. We'll be back later. I'll go live tonight after the game. I got to go pick up my daughter from summer camp right now. But the AJ Puckett, he's another guy, another lefty from the Marlins who could be worth consideration too. So I would keep an eye out for these guys. I really would. Puck is not, another good Puck and Nardi, another lefty. So I'm really interested to see what any trade with the Marlins could look like. I really do. But he's got like 4 or 5 years of control, so he would cost a lot. So, and I hope a comeback starts. I mean, they got 3 against Tampa, 3 against Baltimore. Let's hopefully go into the All-Star game, on a bang, on a high note. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's what I got for you right now, gang. So thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your comments, your feedback, your insights. And again, that you're bringing different stuff to the conversation, instead of doing, again, 30 consecutive days of blaming Boone and blaming Cashman and stuff like, and so on and so forth. So, but I appreciate you. Have a good day, everybody. Peace and love to all he is. And we'll see you tonight. Go Yankees.